everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned into the NFL on EA Sports. Tonight's matchup features two quarterbacks who will be trying to lead their team to victory. It's Breeze's Saints going up against Palmer's Cardinals. And with that, it's off to the Valley of the Sun, Phoenix, Arizona, where we'll hand it over to our broadcasting team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Larry, first opened in 2006. Here's a look inside University of Phoenix Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Today, we've got a good NFC match. Up on tap between the New Orleans Saints and the Arizona Cardinals. The defensive line disperses a little bit here, maybe expecting a pass. They come up with one back. That's Ingram. And he'll get it up the middle. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. The headshots here are the offensive unit. And what about Brandon Cooks?
If he's not a 1,000-yard receiver every year he's healthy in the league, I'll be surprised. Came out of college wanting to be a pro, studied all the best receivers in the NFL before he even got to the league.
Breeze now. Left side and caught by Fleener. And he's brought down. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
And there's a nice completion to Kobe Fleener, and no one can be happier than Drew Brees.
They had Jimmy Graham for all those years, Ben Watson last year, and now coming south from Indianapolis, Fleener. And he's brought down.
I don't know about you, but for me, it's always nice to see a little bit of redemption for a player. And Mark Ingram had a little bit of a fumbling issue earlier this year, got benched in a game against Seattle, and he's bounced back big since then.
He had just 50 yards, but on 11 carries, so good yards per carry in Week 10. But Week 9, we talked about it last week, he was explosive, 158 and a touchdown.
Message received. This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
Now the offense lining up 1st and 10. Breeze gives it up to Ingram. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Mark Ingram, 28 yards. And the Saints take it right down the field and score on the opening drive. And it's good as the Saints have a 7-0 lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And with the new rule, that decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he only gets to the 20. Throwing now, Palmer on 1st down. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. They'll give him a yard on the play, and that'll make it a 2nd down. The inaugural drive for this offense today, and the guy we're going to talk about, Michael Floyd.
Starting to develop into a #1 receiver, a guy that you'll count on downfield.
On 2nd down, here's Palmer. And this is Michael Floyd complete. Against the 49ers, a couple of Cardinals had their first 100-yard games on the season. Larry Fitzgerald did it. Michael Floyd, who just had the catch, he did it as well.
And head coach of the Cardinals, Bruce Arians, has got to be thinking it's about time, because that's what he envisioned when he took Larry Fitzgerald and said, I'm going to move you from outside receiver into the slot and move Michael Floyd into your position. Because the two of you together, that could be a heck of a lineup right there.
They'll get 19 yards there, and that'll be good for an Arizona first down. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there. If he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw.
It's a gain of 7, and it's a second down.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He had told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there, you know, kind of like put up in the top shelf where the kids can't get it.
Johnson obviously having a great year, Charles, but 55 yards in Week 10 rushing-wise. Did score 2 touchdowns, 1 receiving, 1 rushing, but those rushing yards a little lower than what we've come to expect.
I think that also it shows just how competitive the NFL is, because San Francisco's got the number 32 rush defense. That's last in the NFL. So I'm sure David Johnson, the offensive line of Arizona, thought, boy, this is a good week to stack up some big numbers. It didn't happen because even though they're the 32nd ranked team, they still have a lot of pride, and they played hard.
Hey, by the way, speaking of Fitzgerald, moved ahead of Terrell Owens in all-time receptions into 6th place with 1,086 for the 33-year-old.
You talk about big-time names here. Big-time company that Larry Fitzgerald continues to ascend with an outstanding, incredible career. And let's face it, when Carson Palmer has to find someone downfield, the first guy he's going to look towards is number 11.
Ready to go now in the second quarter. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis. It's the Cardinals in possession of the football, and they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. Now Palmer on 1st down. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and that'll make it 2nd down.
I'm going to show my age here a little bit. We used to talk about running backs catching the ball as safety valves. Nowadays, they're a big part of the passing offense.
Quit acting like you're so old. You're only 65. They go back to the ground with Johnson. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd. The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3. They tried to run the counter, just that the defense wasn't fooled.
And when they're not fooled, you see the end result, because what you're doing there, you mentioned the counter. You're using your offensive linemen sometimes to pull or move to influence the defensive front to go in that direction and create the space back in the other side and block it appropriately. But you're exactly right. Didn't move him, sat there waiting for him and made the play.
The field goal unit's going to stay put on the sideline. They're going to go on 4th down here.
Get ready. 1-18, Sally 19, Sally 19.
They'll try and throw for him with Palmer. And he's got Gresham. And he takes it down to the 13 and picks up the 1st.
Well, the field goal attempt was well in hand. They had that, but they decided to go for it anyway. Extreme confidence, it looks like.
Yeah, but I bet the defense is going to remember this one, right? They kind of rubbed their nose in it. Long drive. The defense just cannot seem to catch a break and get off the field.
Sally 19, mirror. Right now.
Andre Johnson, his first carry. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
A 1-yard gain could look like a disaster, but it all depends on how the game is going. Is it a series of 1-yard gains running the ball? If that's the case, you might have to start thinking about throwing it a little bit more. But if it's just the occasional 1-yard run, hey, congratulations to the defense. They won that one. Come back and get them the next time.
Now Palmer to throw on 2nd down. His pass caught at the 4. It's a 9-yard pickup on the play, and that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play, but what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
To go here in the first half. More from the desert after this. This is turning into a bit of a death march here, the 13th play of this drive.
Regular. Let's go.
They hand off to their big tight end. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do it. And now the Saints are going to take a timeout on defense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Just play after play after play on this long drive for the offense.
No. Check, Patriots.
It's a quarterback sneak. And he is not going to get in as the big bodies stop him at the 1. And the Saints signal for another timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. So they held him out on 2nd down, and now here's 3rd and goal.
Mirror. Let's go.
They'll run it with Johnson, and he will get into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. David Johnson punching it in from a yard away. And the Cardinals are just an extra point away from tying this game. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And last year that would have been a net gain of 5 on the return. This year he stopped where he would have been if he had taken a knee. And that's at the 25. And now the Saints get set to trot out there. And that last drive, it was all about the ground game, ground and pound.
And I don't care how we're playing the game these days. Offensive linemen still want to fire out and smack the guy opposite them and move the football on the ground. They feel better about that. That's what they want to do. That's how they want to play, and that's how they got it done.
Yeah, they got it for a touchdown last drive. Let's see what happens here.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now you can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Calais Campbell in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10. An extra DB added here for the Cards on 3rd.
Blitzer play coverage.
To throw is Breeze. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Now here's a timeout defensively coming from the Cardinals. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Here's Thomas Morstead now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. Ellington now to return it. That'll go as a punt of 32 yards. And the Cardinals, great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10. And the Cardinals offense here ready to take over. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. On 2nd down, Palmer. Fitzgerald bringing it in over the middle. And he's brought down. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks. And now the offense operates in the red zone. And now it looks like they're... Now Palmer maybe not in love with the personnel or the call. He's going to take a timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. They'll throw on 1st down here with Palmer. Screen play, Johnson. 7 yards on the play, and it'll make it a 2nd down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass, looked like it was coming together, looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
On 2nd down, Johnson. And he is going to lose yardage here. That'll go as a loss of 5, and that'll make it 3rd down. Now, whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. So on 3rd down, the field goal unit will come out as they'll try to get 3 before half. From the right hash, this from 33. And Catanzaro's kick is right through. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So they kick it through to take the lead. There is a little bit of time left, though, here in the 2nd quarter.
And while they're concerned about not giving up a big return or giving up points themselves going into the half, how good do they feel, though, putting points on the board themselves right near the end of the 1st half?
That's it for the 1st half. 2 more quarters to go. We'll have plenty more to see after the break. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. So here's the Cardinals offense now as they get set to start this 3rd quarter. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the 3rd quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the 1st half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies, try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the 1st half.
We'll see if they do just that. Play clock winding down. Play clock down to 0, and this is not the way to start a drive. From the gun, it's Palmer. Caught on the left side, Fitzgerald. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the 2nd half. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And this is one of those bang-bang plays, Charles. Did the knee hit first or did the ball come out first?
This is where you need that 20/20 eyesight, don't you, Brandon? You've got to see which one happened first. If the knee hit the ground, then they will keep possession.
They'll come out in the pistol. And they start the second half with Johnson. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
Let's go.
On second down, here's Palmer. It's Floyd on the right. And he'll be down deep into New Orleans territory. A huge play there for Arizona. 42 yards.
Coaches really don't care from what position they get this, but run after the catch ability, rack ability is often the difference between winning and losing and changing field position.
A first down carry here for Johnson. And they'll get him down right around the 16. 2 yards on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. Again, we'll see the pistol here. Again, it's Johnson. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And it'll be a third and about 13. Now Palmer on third and long. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he picks up the first as he's able to take it down to the 7-yard line.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
Another pistol look here. This is Ellington. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be second and goal.
Partner, when it's a goal-to-go situation, if you're on the field on defense, you have to know that you may be called on to make a tackle at any time. Here, the cornerback does exactly that. Plays the run really well and makes a big play.
Now Palmer to throw on second down. That is caught at the 7-yard line. And he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. No gain on that one, and it's going to bring up a third down. Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Cardinals. Jermaine Gresham from 6 yards away. And the Cardinals now adding on to their lead.
That's almost just not right. You cover everybody, but those tight ends, they can be awfully reliable.
Very reliable. The defense just has to hate those guys.
This drives them crazy because oftentimes you can't match up with them. They have you either with size, speed, or maybe even just strength.
Now Catanzaro after the touchdown to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. A look at the offense now here, coming back out on the road for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half, Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. And Charles, I got to tell the story of our production meeting the other day. The guys were discussing MVP candidates, and you jumped in and said, hey, we need a collective MVP, the Dallas Cowboys O-line.
And I'm just glad the table supported me when I jumped up on it, because this Dallas offensive line fires me up. Travis Frederick at center, Ronald Leary at left guard, Zach Martin at right guard, Doug Free at right tackle, Tyron Smith at left tackle. They're as good as it is in the league. I think they're the best in the league, clearly. They should be in consideration for the MVP. So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
On 2nd down, here's Breeze. He's going to wind up and air it out. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Brandon Cooks, 53 yards. And the Saints have cut it back within a score. Extra point attempt to follow here. And this is up and good to make it a 17-14 game. The ball upright on the tee, and the Saints kick team booms it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And that last drive, so effective in the passing game, resulting in the touchdown. Maybe not many people were focused on the trenches. There was good protection there.
Excellent protection. So now defensively, you've almost got to get down into those starters blocks like you're a sprinter. Get lower than those guys on offense and find a way to roar through them or around them to get into the face of the passer.
Easier said than done, though.
Way easier said than done. But they've got to try something, because right now they're just cutting them to shreds. I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now. Shift together here from the D-line.
Here we go. Wide 18. Wide 18.
Mike 52, Mike 52.
Sally 19. Regular. All right now.
On the ground, Ellington. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Welcome back to the desert. We're in Glendale. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter.
Regular. Deep. Let's go.
On 2nd down, Palmer. Fitzgerald bringing it in over the middle. Give him 11 yards and time and a new set of downs.
Let's face it, when Carson Palmer finds Larry Fitzgerald early in the game and then continues to do so, we end up with games like we saw after the 2015 season in the playoffs against Green Bay, don't we?
Yeah, and a couple of veterans for sure in this league.
Veterans who know how to play and still love competing and do it at the highest level.
Even makes me feel old, though, that Palmer going to 79, Fitzgerald 83, and those are veterans now in the NFL, right?
Well, one thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-armed guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Decent chunk of yardage still left here. 2nd and 7.
Sally, regular. Let's go.
Again, they run with Ellington. Room here to run. And he's brought down after a good gain. That one goes for 30.
It's in my bones, it's in my soul. You're never gonna break